Hello everyone, amateur meteorologist. First and weather here. It is January 27th, 2021, believe it or not. And we have another winter system to talk about for the southeast, particularly the states of North Carolina and Virginia. And let's get right into it. So this right here is the NAM 3 kilometer 18Z run. You can see that it's showing a pretty good area of moisture right here, the low pressure forming right here, and then the snow basically on the North Carolina border. And it's going to be, the heaviest snow bands are going to be along the area of greatest frontogenesis. And so that's where basically the thermal gradient is the highest. And as the system goes through time, we're going to see that band sort of shift southward. So we're going to see those heavier snow bands move southeastward as the system moves east. And that means the heaviest snow bands are really going to be in this area right here. So along the North Carolina-Virginia border, just to the south and just to the north. And this is what the NAM also supports. You can see those very heavy snow bands right along the border right here. This is easily 1 to 2 inch per hour rates if this does indeed verify. But again, temperatures will be marginal, about 31, 32. So the accumulation is really not going to be that great. Ratios will be about 7 or 8 to 1 with the system. But once you go north of 64, I-64, accumulation ratios will be about 10 to 1. But there, you're going to see much less snow. So this is the NAM model right here. Snow arrives in Richmond right around 8Z, which is about 1 or 2 a.m. It exits about 13Z, which is right around 8 or 9 a.m. It's going to be a very quick moving system, and I think most people will sleep right through it. It's going to be primarily in the nighttime, so not really anything that's going to be very visible out there. But when you wake up, you will see some snow on the grass, particularly if you're south of I-64, and especially if you're north and along the North Carolina-Virginia border. This is what the NAM is showing in terms of snowfall. You can see it has a pretty good swath. Let's wait for it to load real quick. Oh well, it's going to take its time, so let's just see what happens. So you can see right here, a pretty good swath of snow in this area right here. And my internet is currently offline. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see what happens. Let me just continue the video. This is the HRR model. You can see that it's going to keep on going like this. It shows a more aggressive swath of snow, so it has that snow shield a bit further north. And personally, this is what I agree with. I think it's going to be a little further north, about 10, 20 miles north of I-64, and that's what the her model is also saying. In terms of snowfall, you can see that it's also pretty aggressive. It has that 1 inch line right along 64, and this little hot spot of 2 to 5 inches, and some greater snow amounts right along the North Carolina-Virginia border. Now here is the RGEM. This is also a very good snowstorm model, very accurate. It's made by the Canadians, and it historically does pretty good with some of these systems. And you can see it is a bit further suppressed, so it does not really show that heavier snow reaching the central Virginia area. It shows rather those heavier bands really stuck here. And that also is a viable solution. I think it certainly is possible that is actually what happens. But again, I think based on the trends we've seen, the models have consistently shifted north. 2 days ago, they were showing nothing for areas north of the border of Virginia. But now they gradually trended upward, more amplified, more heavier precip totals. So I think it should be a nuisance snow, but still not nothing for central Virginia. And I think especially the biggest bullseye will be in the mountains of, for example, near Blacksburg, and then right along the North Carolina-Virginia border, especially in these regions right here. And in terms of snowfall, this is what it has in mind. You can see, unfortunately, it's not going to be loading out to the end, but you can see it has, again, that southeastward extent of the snowfall, because as that system moves along, that area of greatest frontogenesis will be happening right along these areas right here. So now in terms of snowfall, how much are we expected to see? Well, I think about up to 0.5 inches of snow is looking feasible in this area right here. I think most areas here will see a coating to maybe at most half an inch. Now, going further south in this blue area, I think 0.5 to 1.5 inches is a good bet. I think a few areas will see 1.5, but I think a lot of areas will reach that 0.5 zone. And this is a bit higher than what I was previously thinking because of that shift north. Now, once you cross this blue line right here, I think 1 to 3 is in order. you're going to be closer to the border. You're going to have that more frontogenesis forcing of those heavier snow bands. And then finally, I think in this red region right here, about 2 to 5 inches is not out of the question because of that higher elevation, the heavier snow squalls and banding. So I think it definitely is not out of the question. Now, on the top right here, you can see I have a couple of scenarios for each zone. In the light blue, I think a bust would be just flurries. So this is where the storm system would be a little bit suppressed. The bands don't really reach farther north, and all you see is a few light snow showers. The boom would be about 1 to 3, so it's a bit heavier than expected. You see a northern extent of that snow a bit more than forecast, and you see 1 to 3. Now in the bust region for this area, this blue, I think a 0.5. So a bust would be seeing only about half an inch of snow, and a boom would be about 2 to 4 inches. Now in the red region, I think a bust would be coating to an inch, and then a boom would be 4 to 6 inches. I think this area right here really has potential to see quite a bit of snow out of the system. But again, as you go further northeast, those totals will pretty quickly diminish. Well, all right, guys, that's it for this video. It's going to be quick and sweet. I'm going to have another YouTube video this week regarding the storm threat for this late weekend and into Tuesday. You might have heard about all the hype going on, but I'm not particularly impressed by what the system is showing for the mid-Atlantic. I think this will be more of a northeastern system, North New England type of system, but still there is the potential for some wintry weather, and I will have my video on that up in a few days. So again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.